waiting on my theme music. Hey. That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Yes, I had to come out here like Deion Sanders. I had to have my theme music. All right, all right. And if you're not familiar with that song, that is It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. It takes two to make it out of sight. And so, first of all, let me just say on behalf of JP Morgan Chase and the 293,000 employees that we have in this country and abroad, and I would be remiss in not saying, and the 150 plus employees we have at this conference. And so if you are a JP Morgan Chase, please raise your hands. There you go. Oh, look at my people. My familia. Yes, 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 yes. And so first of all, I just want to say we are delighted to be here. We're delighted to have this opportunity. And NAHREP, I thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity to be on this stage and to talk to your familia. And so let me talk about the power of partnership. The power of partnership. The reason I wanted that theme song, it was for purpose, because it does take two. And so when we think about partnership, I wanted to talk about it in terms of 5 C's. The first being our customer. And so understanding our customer is important. And NAHREP does a really great job in the State of Hispanic Homeownership Report in really outlining what's going on within the Hispanic community and to the Hispanic customer. And so when we think about the opportunity that exists with that customer base, we have to understand some of the data points. When we understand that 16.7 million customers are going to be minority in this country, it is like, I don't even know why we would not even focus in this particular area. When we realize that 74% of household formation is literally going to be either Latino or Black, we have to make sure that we are focused. When we think about home ownership and the fact that 87% of net new home ownership is going to be Hispanic or Black, with the majority of that, if not, I think it's about 74%, really from a Latino Hispanic perspective, we need to be focused. And not to mention when it comes to rental housing, whether it's apartment or houses, 67% will come from Latinos and or Blacks. And so when you think about that, that spells opportunity. So it is necessary for us to understand our customer base. Let me talk a little bit about our challenge. When I hear all of that opportunity, I recognize the challenge of having a 48.4 or 48.6% home ownership rate from a Latino perspective. That is either challenge or opportunity. It depends on how you see it. And I often say, if you change your outlook, you'll change your outcomes. And so when you think about that, and you think about the challenge, we can either lean in and really just focus on the problem, or we can be about the solution. Yes, and I tend to want to be about the solution. And so when we think about that next C, which is commitment, to be committed, you have to start. And so when we think about the work and the opportunity that we have, the one thing that I think about when I'm at JP Morgan Chase is how aligned we are with our NAHREP familia. The fact that we're both going down the same path to make sure that we're advancing Hispanic, Latino homeownership within this country. The fact that we want to make a difference in the communities that we're seeking to serve. The fact that we leverage data to make sure that we're on the right path of making sure that we're meeting people's needs basically where they're at. It's important for us to make sure that we are committed as two organizations. Again, I say again, it takes two. The fourth C is really centered around collaboration. And NAHREP, I want to thank you so very much for the partnership that we've had for over 20 years. I want to thank you personally for the partnership that I've had with you for over 20 years. We've collaborated on every level, whether it's been at the national level, the regional level, or the local level. We've connected. We've collaborated. We've talked about solutions. We've talked about activities. We've talked about the things that are needed in order to make sure that our communities are striving. We've talked about those things. And not only have we talked, we've walked it. I think about the rap song by Migos, Walk It Like You Talk It. We've done that. We've walked and we've talked. And so again, when we do those types of things, we are able to make impact in that fifth C, which is our communities. In order to be able to serve our communities, all those things that preceded communities have to happen. When I think about serving our communities, it's important that we have people that represent the communities that we seek to serve. It is important that we have presence in the communities that we seek to serve. It is important that we have partnerships with key influencers in the communities that we seek to serve that have the trust and the consideration from the customers that we're looking to serve. It is important that we have products and programs. Oftentimes, we always talk about products and programs first, but this is not a situation that when you build it, people will come. This is not the field of dreams. There's not a whole lot of product differentiation out in the marketplace today. But people do want a product or a program that will meet their home financing needs. And all of us need to be available to be able to provide them with that insight. And lastly, when I think about things, we talk about promotions or we talk about marketing and outreach. It's important that people see images that reflect who they are. It's important that we have bilingual capabilities so that people can understand and know that we're in their house. It's important that we do activities and make sure that we're dispelling myths around homeownership so that people understand that they can desire and realize the dream of homeownership. And I often like to talk about this 6P, and I think you heard a little bit about it up on the stage, and that's really around policy. Every last one of us have an opportunity to make a difference in that space, both individually and collectively. We need to make sure that we're getting our policymakers in position to be able to fight for the things that we need, to be able to address the barriers that are impacting our communities. If we don't do those things, how can you be committed? How can you make a difference? How can you make impact in the communities that you seek to serve? And I'll leave you with this. The one thing that I take a lot of pride in is making sure that we are operating in our purpose. Purpose comes when your gift and your passion aligns. And when your gift and your passion aligns, there you will find your purpose. When we think about the work that we do in order to serve our communities, it is ministry at its best. Jerry, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every time I talk about ministry, Jerry is always there to support me in that space. But I often want to say to people, and again, this is not about being spiritual or anything like that. Ministry is all about serving people. And so don't be scared to say the word, because that's exactly what it is. What I will also say is that ministry is hard. It's not for the faint at heart. But again, we were all called to serve. So that tells me that we have an opportunity to serve and to make progress and to be successful at it. So I want to leave you today with this. Make sure that you take advantage of the opportunities that you have here at this conference. I know it's Friday, and thank God it is Friday. But at the same time, hey, this is not about a party. This is about making sure that you get informed, that you get the information that you need to be able to go out and not just serve, but serve well. So with that said, Thank you and enjoy the rest of your conference.